Alright guys, how you doing? It's Rabea, hope you're all well. At the NAMM show, I had the pleasure of meeting the guys at Walrus Audio. They were sat across from us, their booth was opposite ours, and it was really cool to get to know those guys and see the kind of gear they're making. So they do pedals, and not only do they sound great, but they look wicked as well. All the artwork is just stunning. So I've got 3 pedals to show you today. So firstly, we're going to look at the Iron Horse, which is a distortion pedal. It's a fairly simple distortion pedal in terms of its layout, but it's got a couple of little features that make a huge difference to the tone. Firstly, we've got a toggle switch, which changes the kind of clipping mode. It's a diode switch, so you can go from sort of compressed, more open, and then something that adds a little bit more high end as well. So each side of the switch being 3-way, you kind of boost the bass, boost the middle, and boost the treble. So it's good for, I suppose, vintage and modern rock tones, and you can get really ridiculous gain out of it because it's really high output. Secondly, we've got the brand new red distortion pedal. This isn't actually available just yet. It's available for pre-order. They launched it at NAMM and they've sent one over for me to check out, which is really exciting. So the red distortion pedal is essentially distortion with an active EQ, but then you've also got a toggle switch on that to change the compression stage between something more compressed and then something a little bit more open, depending on what you like. Then you've also got volume and gain. And then lastly, we've got the Jupiter Fuzz. This is V1. I'm aware there's a V2 now, but this is the V1 Jupiter Fuzz, and again, it's a wicked sounding pedal. Straightforward layout. You've got your tone, fuzz, and your volume, but then you've got 2 different toggle switches. One works as a bass boost, and the other is again a diode switch that changes the clipping stage. So all these pedals are pretty versatile, they do a lot, and they also sound very good. So I thought I'd show you with a Strat and with my Chapman SIG, and I'm going through my Victory VX Kraken on the gain mega low on gain 1, so it's pretty much clean, although with that guitar it's quite high output, so it does break up a tiny bit, but I like to put things into context of how I'd use them live, so hopefully that helps you guys out as well. We're going straight into the Torpedo Studio and then out into my Universal Audio Apollo 8P interface so that you get direct tones. So let's kick off with the Iron Horse. Okay, so I've got my guitar on, this is your reference tone. Very mild breakup, but we can coil split it if we want. As I said, this is a 21.5K output pickup. Right, toggle switch in the middle and all the controls are in 12 o'clock, so let's have a listen. Wow, okay, so it's incredibly high output. I'm driving the front end quite a lot with the level being at 12 o'clock. If I back it off, it should clean up a little bit. Okay, that's really cool. So I'm going to mess with the toggle switch now. So as you could hear, when I moved the toggle switch over to the right, it got a bit quieter. Essentially, with it being 3 different clipping modes, you're going to get different levels of output as well. So with it being on the right hand side, that's a lower output, which maybe makes it clean up a bit more. Okay, now we've heard it with a humbucker with a really high output pickup, so I'm going to get the Strat out and we'll try it again, see if we can get some sort of more vintage tones out of it. Reference tone. So it breaks up a very, very tiny bit. Bearing in mind this is a high output pedal, so we might get a tiny bit of feedback, but we'll see what happens. Put everything back at 12 o'clock, and here we go. Awesome. I mean, what's nice about the Iron Horse that I can hear to my ears is that it's not overly bitey, which is a good thing if you want to blend into a mix. If you're a rhythm player as well, it's probably a really good call. Sounds great in front of a clean signal. I imagine if I put more gain on the amp, it would give us some ridiculous tones. It's also worth mentioning that the amp, all the EQ is at 12 o'clock as well, so I'm trying to keep it as sort of flat as possible at source so that you get an idea of what the pedal does. But it is worth mentioning that I do like blending things with amps as well, so of course if I went straight into the computer then you would get basically a DI with the pedal, but I'd rather show you it through an amplifier, as most of you guys have amplifiers. Anyway, let's move on to the Walrus Audio Red Distortion. Right then, moving swiftly along, we have got the red distortion. I'm going to put everything at 12 o'clock, just so we have it fair. The toggle switch is two-way. Again, as I said, it's a compression switch, so it goes between compressed and then more and less compressed, which gives you a little bit more of an open sound, a bit gruntier, a bit more mid-range. So this is again the reference tone. Here we go. Straight away, it's got a nice playable feel to it. The way that they've worked the response to the pedal is great, so it feels good to play. Haven't touched the EQ at all. It's an active EQ, haven't touched it. It's all at 12 o'clock, so I'm going to mess with it. Again, the toggle switch is down, so it is compressed right now. So I'm just going to give you an A and a B. So this is compressed. I like it uncompressed more than I do compressed. That's just my personal taste. You guys might have preferred it compressed. So again, I'm going to A-B the two. Okay, so it's very powerful. It's a very powerful pedal. The EQ section is really, really powerful. One thing I do like is the amount of bass you can dial in. Most distortion pedals that I've come across, the bass end just tends to fluff things up, whereas this is really supportive. Thumbs up from me. I'm going to try it with the Strat. Okay, here's the Strat, reference tone. Let's punch in the red. I like the way these pedals sound with a single coil guitar. They thicken them up a nice amount, which is something, again, I've discovered has been somewhat difficult in a lot of cases, just to get the right kind of thickness from a Strat or a single coil. So something Walrus seem to have down is that thickener for the single coil. We're still on the compressed setting, so I'm going to knock the toggle switch over now. Push the texture switch up, you get even more fatness. Wicked. Right, lastly, we've got the Jupiter Fuzz to try out, so looking forward to that because I love fuzz. Okay, back with the Drop C Beast, and we're going to try the Jupiter Fuzz now. This is the V1. As I said before, it's got some wicked features. It's got 3 different clipping modes, same as the Iron Horse with the sort of diode clipping modes. And you've got an extra bit of bass if you want to kick that in. So generally speaking, this should be quite a fun pedal to try out. So I'm going to put everything at 12. And let's give it a shot. So this again is without anything in. Let's kick in the fuzz. Well, that's certainly a powerful little pedal. Fuzz isn't for everyone. I love fuzz. I love the way it sounds like it's breaking the speakers, breaking the amplifier. Something about it I just really enjoy. I used it actually at my performance at the NAMM show, and I found it very useful. It was the right tone of fuzz for me. In the middle, it's in the middle of the mode switch. It's apparently the most amount of clipping stage you'll get out of the pedal. I think that's why I like it. I gunned all the controls, as you could hear. It was really, really breaking up, and I like it. I think it's really cool. The bass switch actually adds a different kind of low mid, which I wasn't expecting, but it was there. Right, got the Strat hooked up. Let's try out the Jupiter Fuzz. I'm going to push the bass push out. I'm going to have everything on 12 o'clock. Here we go. there's 3 wicked Walrus Audio pedals, 2 distortions, 1 fuzz, and what I really like about them is that they work with not just a humbucker guitar, especially a high output one like that, which I did deliberately to show you the extremes, but then also it makes a Strat, vintage output Strat, sound wicked, fat, full of power, and that is a thumbs up from me because I find that more difficult to find a pedal that handles that than I do with a humbucker. The good thing about these pedals are they're affordable. 2 of them, the Jupiter and the Iron Horse, are about $150 and the Red is $219, which is about what you'd expect to pay for sort of handmade boutique style pedals. These are all made in the USA, they're all handmade with all the beautiful paint jobs and everything like that, the screen printing and everything. They're wicked, wicked pedals. So thank you Walrus for sending them across. Again, I'm always here if you want to send anything else and you guys want to hear it. I'll happily demo some stuff for you guys. Please put some comments in the comment section if there's other Walrus pedals you'd like me to review. But yeah, generally speaking, thumbs up from me. Happy with the sound of these. I'll probably even try them out with my rig and see which ones really work with the sounds I go for, because they're all wicked sounding and I think I could probably get some good use out of them. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, whatever else it is that we do on the YouTubes, and I will see you very soon.